I would imagine that the gentleman that we spoke with, the engineer, I would imagine that we're going to hear back from him sooner rather than later. He seems very efficient and seems to cover all his bases. So I think we'll know within a few weeks what what we're looking at. And if and when we can, approach the town.
So would you say there's a chance that a placeholder might be needed in the event he gets back in the near quickly?
I definitely would. I'd put a placeholder there.
And should that be coordinated through Kim, since she sort of combined some of the town hall work with your window work?
Yeah. And we discussed, kind of working together on this. And I think the meeting they had with the engineer was really helpful. We could kind of advise each other and, make sure we're all following the same course of action.
So Kim has got a single effort to do the town hall design with the window design. So she's put those two projects together. I just think there should probably be a single point. Maybe it's Kim to sort of give us a heads up if they expect to come back for money for the annual to do any of that work.
Yeah, I did talk to Kim and she said that they don't think they'll have that ready for the annual. It'll be more November. Because she wants to see if after we finish the project and the town hall campus, if they have money left over, then we could use, possibly some of that money. And I think
I would
that
be
was
more
my,
aggressive if I were her. I might suggest that to her. Just because, if we have money left over, that's money we don't have to spend, but if you wait 6 months to appropriate money, you're delaying any execution on the town hall for 6 months because you're waiting to see if you had money left over.
Projects this involved in general is involved in town hall thing and whatnot. Should be on the annual town meeting instead of all of these things showing up in November as fly by night is late.
I can send Kim an email
okay,
and just ask her to kind of see if we can't. Even if it's a ballpark, I'd rather go high if we need to and have it appropriated and then put it back if we don't use it.
Go for it once.
Yeah.
Get plenty and then give back the remainder.
Yeah.
Instead of,
Yeah.
Keep
So
going
if
for
the
the
campus has money left over, that's just money we don't have to spend later. I'll give it back.
no, I agree with that strategy.
all right, well, let us know what you find out.
Okay.
Okay,
And Kathy, I'll CC you on that.
Yeah, that's great, Mike. That would be perfect.
Just a side question, it's Phil. Town meeting, when is that?
May 5th, if that's a Friday night, I'm pretty sure it's the 5th.
Okay, thank you.
I should.
Yeah, pretty sure it's May 5th. Any other questions? All right, Kathy and Janice, anything else?
I'm good. Janice, how about you? I'm gonna guess she's okay.
Okay.
March 5th
Alright.
is the first Friday in May.
The 5th, yeah. Well, as you get more information, if you could kind of email us and let us know what's going on, that would be great.
Absolutely. We will keep you abreast of this situation because I think it's important we're all on the same page through the whole process. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Night.
So the next item is that we had a public hearing on February 1st, just for people to review the land use plan, which we do every year, and then also if they had suggestions for the, community preservation funds. And so Mike was at that public hearing. Did anything happen?
No questions on CPC. And we just reviewed the objectives for the land use. Elena did that.
Yep.
And really no questions on that either.
Okay.
Just pointed them to the website for the current plan, and we said that another plan will be
Yeah,
finished shortly.
working on it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the open space and recreation plan. Okay. Then, on the, let's see. On the 52 Providence Street Affordable Housing Project. They, Bill had to post on the central register. I had to do legal notices. And then also the public hearing, we have to pay for the legal notices. So I would just like permission that I can pay those.
How much are they?
the public hearing was, that Mike just talked about was 1:30. And it's required by the bylaw, and then the central register, or actually, I think the central register is free. It's the Milford Daily News, because Bill had to post a, public notice that the RFPs are going out, and that was like 160-ish around there.
Need a motion on that?
Um,
Second.
Okay. My Peter. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
We also have the Community Preservation Coalition dues. It's $1,750. And we pay that from the administration, CPA administrative.
And what are we, can you explain what we, the benefit of that?
Yeah, they're like really important. They are a group that works for the state. They're sort of like a liaison with the state and all the different towns that have CPA. And first of all, they're like a wealth of information, in terms of, answering questions, giving resources. And they also do the lobbying, and they're the ones that got us the extra money from the budget surplus. They're very vital. You can go to the website. You have their website. So they're important.
Have you asked them any questions lately? Give us an example of a question.
Question like, can you use CPA funds in this way or that? I call, ask them a lot of those types of questions. Or, I mean, and the big thing is that they lobby for the CPA, and they've kept it so that I'm pretty sure the rates were increased on the records, just because more towns are in the CPA now. And every year they lobby for money from the budget surplus to come in. And, for example, this year we received we
85%.
we received $347,000 from the state through CPA, and so they're just really critical. They just hold all the glue together. That
347 was the total number, right?
no,
Guys,
That's a state.
right,
right, but I'm saying that 347 included
the budget surplus.
this, so it's like 50,000 or there was a chunk.
It was $75,000.
Right, so without that, we would have had 250 or something.
Right.
Right.
Do you know how many towns contributed to that? to
I imagine
support
they
them?
all do. I mean, if you're involved with the CPA and you're doing work with them, you rely on them.
So each town would pay approximately $1,000?
It's graded like the size of your town and all that, so bigger towns pay more, and I can't remember how they do it, but this is what we paid for ever.
I think payment on a scale
they-
like that, sliding scale, that's good.
Do they give a year-end report?
I mean, you should be on their email list. I mean, because
I don't have time to get on the email, that's why I'm asking these questions to
they
you.
send out emails of, all the lobbying they're doing. They highlight different projects around the state to give, towns ideas. They have like an annual report, which I think actually kind of came with this. So if you're on the mailing list, you get the emails and, the information. Yeah, or you can go to the website and you can read about, the technical information they have, all the news items they have. It's very thorough. They're very, very thorough.
Could you mention though, could you put a link to the website in the minutes?
Sure.
Because I'm not sure I know where it is.
Yeah, it's very helpful.
So when I'm in meetings, I hear people, Dan or someone's coming back saying, I spoke to so-and-so and this is what I can do with for the beach using CPA funds. He's probably talking to this commission
Probably.
to get that direction.
Probably.
Is it a state agency or is it a standalone?
Quasi, yeah, I don't think they get any money from the state, but the state wanted them to be created because they knew that towns would need a resource.
Yeah.
So, but I think the money comes from the towns mostly.
So basically, they interpret the CPA Act.
They interpret it. they network, they have workshops you can go to. They lobby, which is huge because, and, like they'll say that they're working to get money from the budget surplus, and I'll get a letter, and then they ask us to write letters. And so I always, write a letter to the legislators, requesting the funding.
Are they involved in any efforts like the Blackstone Valley Watershed presentation that we had, that group that came, we signed up to be participant?
Yeah, that's a
to
little
support
different.
that? But would they be involved to support them and get that stuff done?
Well, I mean, they would do things like if a town was, trying to preserve land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be part of it. Or if, they were doing something, anything that was under the umbrella of CPA. Yeah.
So, I mean, I like the questions that you're asking. It's sort of an accountability thing. What are
Well,
we getting for our money,
If you said the state wants them to do this, you would think the state would figure out a way to fund it. I mean, how much money has the state given to the CPA? A lot of money. I would think they should be able to peel a little bit off
Well,
instead of
Well,
whacking the
well,
towns with,
I think-
with,
I
think-
with a
I think
fee.
they probably expect the people they're giving money to, CPA
Right.
funds too, to
yeah,
help fund it, you know what I mean? So it's sort of,
Well,
six
that's
to
why
one a little
I
bit, you know
think,
what I
I
mean?
think it's a good idea to send the link out,
Yeah,
because I'll find time to
well, and also-
investigate it.
also the money that we are paying from CPA, half of it is state money. So, I mean, you know what I mean? So they are helping in that way,
Right.
and they might fund it in other ways. I don't really know.
I mean, I mean, I would make a motion to pay the dues, but I also like the question, so I want to take a look at the website and get a little more information for myself. Maybe next year I may not pay the due, you know what I mean?
Right, well, maybe we can, next time we talk about it, you could say, well, I think it means this, and I think. so.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I highly recommend you going on the website, looking at all the information. If for some reason you guys didn't want to fund it next year, I would fight like heck to make sure that you did, because it's so important, I mean, I've worked with them for, gosh,
sign my nomination papers.
15, huh?
You
Yeah.
want to sign it? That's the easiest way to get me out.
Yeah.
I'm up again.
So Mike made the motion, Peter seconded it. Any more questions or, Mike, did you have any?
No, but I think we should talk about it again.
Sure.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Yeah, I do. Yeah, you should go to the website and I will include that in the minutes. Did you get a chance to look at the minutes of the last
Yes.
meeting? I want to make a motion.
Got the minutes written.
Second.
Discussion? Okay, all those in favor? The annual town meeting articles. So one of the items will be the historical ones, which we'll find out more about. One or two of them anyways. We'll divide up the money into the 10%, for the different categories. And so what we'll be dividing up is the $767,000 that we got from last year and putting it in the different categories. Another item is, well, actually, it's on the agenda, but, so the CMRPC, Central Mass Regional Planning Commission, is working to hire a regional housing director that different towns will use to save towns money and, pool resources. And so they got a grant, and so next year will be free. And so we don't need to pay them anything to have the, benefits of a regional housing coordinator. And then the year after that, if we want to have 4 hours a week, it will be,
About 15.
16,720, I think. Or maybe it's 15, I'm not sure which year. And
16, the last time we talked about this back.
Yeah.
Last year, $16,666 each, my notes say.
yeah, and it increases a little bit, each year, but, so next year we'll have it for free because they got the grant. We can see how it works.
So the first year is free?
So it'll be FY 24. It'll be free.
Okay, and again, my notes from that meeting is, are there any other fees that are gonna crop up? Is there anything else that the town would be asked to pay for?
No, I mean, the CMRPC would hire the person, so they will pay all the benefits and all that. That person, if they don't have enough hours in all the towns, they'll have other projects for them to do. But
Is this over and above the regional planning that we contribute anyway?
yeah,
Yeah.
you mean like what we pay to CMRPC, the town?
Right,
Yes,
and then this is over and above that.
yes, yeah.
Be interested to see if it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think the good news, we got a year to kick the tires, and I
Yeah,
think we're only
absolutely.
committing to 2, even though they kept saying.
How many towns are gonna be involved in it?
yeah, I don't even know if it's that many.
Well, there were
but-
5, I think, on the meeting we were on last time,
Mhm.
and they were trying to they kept saying 6, but if they don't get 6, it doesn't change our fees. 'Cause
Right.
they're just gonna make it up on their side, give them project hours to do.
But
So
like
4 hours a week,
a week,
Yeah, I think the
times 5
big,
is 20 hours a week, 90,000 a year.
it's a
That's
full,
$96 an hour.
Yeah.
It's 208 hours a year.
so a couple things on that.
That's
One,
pennies and everything. But
I would-
if you're
that's
working
why I'm
20 hours a
asking.
week, I don't think you're getting pennies.
Well, that's why I'm asking, is there anything else we're gonna have to?
not
have
every
to,
town is going 4 hours a week. That's the lowest grade. Some might go for 16, something like that. So it's a full-time employee of 37 and a half hours.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But we're signing on for 16. I mean, for 16,000,
Right.
right?
Yeah, no,
And
you're-
For the
it's-
16,000,
The
we're
hourly
gonna
rate's
get
pretty
4
high.
hours a week? Is that?
And I would say to
think
be
that's what you're
variable.
asking.
That the hardest thing, this is gonna be how they operationalize it, because he's not gonna do 4 hours for Mendon every week. It's gonna be based on how do we get our projects prioritized? To the point, we might get 8 hours, 12 hours in a given week, given the work we have to do, but we might have nothing the following week. So the
Right.
Well,
operationalizing is gonna be hard to do, and honestly, that's the only thing I put a question mark, is they didn't really answer that question when I asked it. They didn't.
I mean,
It's interesting.
basic math, in order to quantify the real, what you're getting for the buck,
Mhm.
was talk like caveman. What kind of a bang are we gonna get for a buck? At $96 an hour, 4 hours a week.
This sounds like a duplicate of what we're paying for to begin with,
in
with
terms of,
Central Mass.
no, I don't really know how much the town pays, but we wouldn't get
What
this.
are we paying, what did we pay? It's so much ahead.
I don't know, Bill runs with that, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I know Bill has dues that he pays them.
And we get.
I mean, the
3
town
hours.
pays Central Mass X amount of, depending on population, and it's for X amount of hours, unless it's changed.
And we
Used
get
to
the
be
free
that.
hours, and actually I'm using some of them.
And that's what this, I mean, that should be doing the work that this is doing, unless I'm misunderstanding.
this, my,
the whole
my
thing.
sense is this, they're setting this up as sort of regionalizing a specific role for that towns can't afford to do on their own. So this is where I extend it beyond what CMRPC is doing for towns based on what we pay them. Now, having said that, question to Mike, to your point is, are we getting the bang for a buck from our original engagement with CMRPC? I mean, the master plan is a good example of where they have stepped in and helped out quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I think it's more a little bit on Mendon to engage them to say we need this done, which we did in certain cases.
Yeah.
But this feels like, if you think about this, it's more like regionalizing dispatch. You know what I mean? In public safety.
Or
They've
animal
got a
control.
role and they're saying, let's regionalize a planning role, which is it's a professional role that has specific training required, probably, I would expect.
Mhm.
I'm, the hourly rate's still a little high for me too. I'm with you on that, Mike, but the idea, it's a professional role and it's like, it's like Jack Hunter, working for the town. And I think this role will be under Jack, I think, in that
Yeah,
space.
will be, yeah.
So,
Well, I want you to understand, I'm not against it.
yeah,
Not against it. In fact, I think the initial deal here, if we're gonna get 2 years for the price of 1 year.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think we take those 2 years and we analyze
Well,
exactly what they're doing for us and what our needs are gonna be.
One of the
Do
things,
we really, in 2 years, we should realize, do we really need
and I think the
an
good thing. here,
affordable
Mike,
house coordinator or not?
I think the good thing is it's from scratch. So we actually get to see what was done over the course of 24 months
Exactly.
and assess it. I think that's
Exactly.
absolutely.
And
Yeah,
that's
the due
strictly
diligence
for
is
affordable
required.
housing, right?
yes,
What's that, Barry?
I said that's strictly for affordable housing.
that's what Mendon would use it for.
Well, affordable or housing,
I mean, yeah, I mean, right.
like the housing plan.
Well, the housing production plan, they would help us with.
Right.
That's one reason they would be very helpful. One thing that Bill said in the job is that Mendon doesn't need 20 hours, so less hours is okay. And also having someone that does have the skills in the background also saves time, and Bill had to learn everything. He's still like, and he's learned a lot, and it's been really helpful. And this project on 52 Providence has been, a lot of work. So hopefully this person will be able to kind of pool the projects and resources, and we'll know the grants to apply for and things like that. And there's really no one in town that does that. So,
Well, if you read the job description, like I said, we're gonna get 2 years for the price of one, or $8,000 a year. Again, rounding up the figures. There's also, I believe, I read the clause in here that if we decide that, you know what, we don't really need it because there's not enough need for it, in a 3 months lead time to say, hey, we
Get
want to
out.
back out of the
Yeah.
deal. As long as that still is up in effect, we can still do that, then
Think,
I'm all for giving it a shot for the 2 years.
well, and so we were talking about annual town meeting warrant articles, so there won't be a warrant article for this position because it's free next year.
Right. We should circle back with Kim because she has money allocated for this position in this coming budget. And I told her, I said, this FY24 should not cost us.
Well, to be truthful, I think we should split that cost for the 2 years. Get it on the budget now. That's going to commit us for the
Just
second year.
roll to free cash
I
and
mean-
pull it back out.
But no, put it in an account
CPA.
that you carry over.
That's-
CPA.
that's true, yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean, we could
Well,
vote.
that's what confused me. She had it in the budget, but she wants to allocate.
Well, I don't know.
But she wants to show where money's being spent, which I'm like, okay, but I said, no money's being spent next year.
Yeah.
So it's coming from it's not coming from the levy or anything, it's coming from CPA.
CPA, right.
So I
and-
think she's gonna start to track, okay, that line item in the budget, the expense is coming from CPA, this is coming from,
Mhm.
which I can understand why she's doing it. I just don't want her to distort the numbers for 24 because I'm like, it's small, but it's still something.
Well, I think it'd make and if we explain it to the voters and the taxpayers.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about here, hey,
Yeah.
basically, we're getting 2 years for the price of one.
Mhm.
So the first year, we're gonna put aside half of the money.
Yep.
And in my opinion, what that does is that shows that we're committed
I
to
mean,
do this for the 2 years.
the other option too is, you could do half, or you could just set the whole amount aside. It doesn't have to be, once that money's set aside, you don't have to use it in that fiscal year. So, we could do that also.
Yeah, that's fine. I think what I'm hearing is we're in agreement that we should move forward with it.
Yeah.
If we were to do you need a motion? Or we,
No, I think we'll do the motions like at
Okay.
one of the next meetings, because it will have more information. So I guess to think about, do we want to vote any money, set any money aside at this annual town meeting?
My suggestion is yes, but like I say, we're a committee, so the next meeting, let's talk about it some more. You can find out about
I'm just wondering if we have the line item out there, is it gonna roll? Because are we committing to putting into the general fund?
Right.
For allocation?
Well, no, see, the thing is, that's what I was talking about with Kim, is
Right.
that you can't take CPA money and just
Stick
put
it,
it, no,
right.
you have to keep it. If we vote for it, it's gonna be an account and it can only be used for the affordable housing coordinator. And if we don't use it, then it goes back into CPA.
It
And the
doesn't go
person
into the
paid for
general
that.
fund,
That's what we
absolutely.
always did.
Right, yeah.
But we've never represented it the way she's trying to represent it as an expense. You know what I mean? So I'm just,
If she wants to do it accounting wise, it's fine, but I know, like, this is something from the Community Preservation Coalition, which is helpful, like, you know.
yeah. No, my point is I'm gonna look at the spreadsheet. If you talk to her after the first about this,
The
then
first
bet February, like that last select board meeting. Did you talk to her after that about this?
I don't know, it's been on emails,
All right, I'm gonna go look at the spreadsheet and see if she zeroed it out. I would
Okay.
expect she did.
right? Yeah, so just,
Okay.
we can decide next meeting or the meeting after what we want to do. Right. Then the other one is we have the police debt, which is, I think, gonna be 103,000.
Can you just jump back to that?
Yeah.
Do we need to bring it back to the select board for a formal agreement? We're moving forward. We're gonna sign that contract for 24 and for the 2 years? We
I
didn't
would,
actually vote on that, did we?
I would imagine the select board's gotta actually be the final approval.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Kim was saying that she was just gonna sign 1 year right now, but should we recommend that we'd like her to sign 2 years on the contract?
Well,
There's no minimum?
No.
So you could take the free year and see you later?
You could.
that just seems wrong to me. You know what I mean? I mean, even CMRPC would be like, really? You're gonna just take a free year? We're gonna go look for another town.
Why are they doing it that way then? I guess.
I think the way they're setting it up is they're just trying to gather
Yeah,
interest and get
I'm
it
sure they're
started.
trying to get people on board.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
what I was wondering.
carrot.
Are they having a problem selling it?
Well, because the state has a bad reputation
Hard to believe.
with regionalization. Take the schools, for instance, not to pick on the
Want
schools.
to be on the house,
Take-
see how that's working.
Once you regionalize
You're in.
and they become
And they
a
can.
separate entity, they're not answering to you.
That's it for like in this, like you said, we can pull out,
Right.
you know what I mean?
That's what I say, as long as that clause that says, oh, and I understand, yeah, you just don't want, you're fired, you go,
Yeah, yeah.
3 months from now, we won't need your services anymore.
Well, so.
I would say if Kim were to come to the board with 1 year.
Yeah.
I would push for 2, just
Right.
because to Mike's point, I don't think we get a full assessment,
Mhm.
because it's gonna take a little while to get up and running. We'll be halfway through the fiscal year,
Exactly.
you know, I'd rather go for 2.
Okay, so then could you do that at the select board meeting?
Yeah,
Do you want me to,
I got an email I'm sending to Kim about something else. I'll add this too.
all right, and then you can let us know next.
So basically, they would be doing what Mike was doing. Bill was doing.
Yeah, a little, I mean, like, yeah. Mhm. And a little more, especially
Is he still here or is he paid?
Bill is still, he's volunteering his time, working on the 52 projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he still is, because I know he wanted to, he's had,
Yeah.
he's certainly done a lot on it.
He'll, once that's set, then he'll pull out and maybe if, when this person comes on, that person can kind of step in. Because at that point, we may or may not have picked a developer to do that project.
When do they figure to start this new project? Fiscal year what?
I think it'll be like, 24 or 25.
Well, after
Well,
July
it's going quick.
1st?
It's because they'll want to apply for grants. What'd you say, Bill?
I said 24 is coming quick for construction.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
It could be 25 because I know that there's a lot of state grants that they'll want to get. And we encourage them to make like energy efficient, buildings and things like that. So. All right, so those are all the items pretty much on the warrant. And let me just make sure we covered everything. Minutes. Regional Housing Coordinator. I think that's it. And so then the next thing would be to go into executive session. The The executive session is to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. If the chair declares that an open meeting may have detrimental effects on negotiating position of the public body. So I'm gonna stop recording the meeting now because we're going into executive session, and then I'll, I guess, turn it back on to adjourn the meeting. Okay? So, bye. Nice meeting you, Phil.
We're entering only
I'll
to.
send you an email.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm sorry, what?
No, just saying we're entering and then come back out to adjourn.
Yeah, I think so.
You need a motion for that?
Oh, do we?
So
Okay.
moved.
You have to take I think you have to take a
Second.
motion and a roll call vote.
Oh, okay. We're still being recorded. Okay, so would someone like to make that motion?
So moved.
Second.
Wait a minute. Wait a sec.
I guess we'll do it again.
Wait, Mike made the motion.
Yes.
And then Barry seconded it.
Yeah.
And roll call vote
Barry, aye.
Michael Mandelier, aye.
Got it, I.
and, okay. So now I'm gonna stop recording. Wonder if I have to do it here.
Cut the camera off. For starters.
Recording transcribe. How do I? Stop recording.
You definitely want to make sure it's off.
We came out of executive session. Now we just really are gonna adjourn, right?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, okay, good enough. Covered.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night, everyone.
Nice efficient meeting.
Yeah, thanks. All right, so we'll see you next month, first Tuesday. Oh, do you sign it?
Right.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
You. Any other interest that you know of in various boards, et cetera?
Other people running for other boards?
Or selectmen, either
I mean,
one.
they just, when I pick my papers up, a couple of people. Sue, she's going for the assessors again. Still
Oh,
people
good.
re-upping, yeah. I should say they pulled papers, whether or not they get returned, you can't say, I mean, it's right.
Who else pulled any? Because